Hey there, history fans. Chirpy Crow here, and today we're tackling a question that keeps popping up. How did history's most infamous dictators meet their end? Karma has a pretty dark sense of humor. Some died in bunkers, some in bathrooms, and one? Well, you'll see. Let's dive into the demise of tyranny. But first, if you enjoy watching tyrants get their comeuppance, smash that subscribe button. We're on a mission to make history actually interesting. Now, let's get morbid. We're starting with the big one, Adolf Hitler, the man who thought invading Russia in winter was a good idea. It was not. By April 1945, Hitler's 1,000-year Reich was looking more like a 12-year mistake. The Soviets were literally blocks away from his bunker in Berlin. His grand empire crumbling faster than a cookie in milk. April 30th, 1945. Hitler's in Führer bunker, which sounds fancy, but was basically a concrete basement with delusions of grandeur. He'd just married his longtime girlfriend Eva Braun. Wedding in a bunker while your country burns? Romance isn't dead. But Hitler soon would be. Around 3:30 p.m., Hitler and Eva retreated to their private room. Hitler shot himself with his Walther pistol. Eva took cyanide. Their bodies were carried outside, doused in petrol, and burned. The man who caused the deaths of millions died hiding in a hole like a coward. His body burned to ashes. No grand monument, no legacy, just a cautionary tale about what happens when you give absolute power to a failed art student with anger issues. Lesson 1. If you start a world war, don't expect a retirement plan. Next up, Benito Mussolini, Italy's fascist leader who thought he could restore the Roman Empire. He could not. By 1943, even Italians were sick of Mussolini. He got arrested, rescued by Germans, then set up a puppet state in northern Italy. Classic dictator move. When you lose power, just pretend you still have it. April 27, 1945. Allied forces are closing in. Mussolini tries to escape to Switzerland disguised as a German soldier. Pro tip: if you're recognizable as one of the most famous dictators in the world, maybe don't rely on a costume change. Italian communist partisans caught him. April 28th, Mussolini and his mistress Clara Petacci were executed by firing squad near Lake Como. But here's where it gets wild. Their bodies were taken to Milan and hung upside down at a gas station for public display. Crowds beat, spat on, and mutilated the corpses. The man who promised to make Italy great ended up as a human piñata at an Esso station. That's what historians call poetic justice. Lesson number 2. The bigger the ego, the harder they fall. Literally. Now let's talk about Joseph Stalin, the man who turned paranoia into a personality trait. Stalin ruled the Soviet Union with an iron fist, killed millions through purges, famines, and gulags. He trusted no one, which is ironic because that's exactly what killed him. March 1st, 1953. Stalin suffered a stroke at his dacha outside Moscow. He collapsed on the floor of his room. Here's the thing. Stalin had trained everyone to be terrified of him. So when his guards heard nothing from his room, they were too scared to check on him. He lay on the floor for hours, possibly treatable because his guards thought, what if he's just sleeping and we wake him up? He'll send us to Siberia. When they finally found him the next morning, it was too late. Stalin lingered for 4 days, partially paralyzed, unable to speak. March 5th, 1953. Stalin died of a cerebral hemorrhage. Some historians think he was actually poisoned by his inner circle, who were tired of living in constant fear. Was it natural causes or murder? We'll never know for sure, but here's what we do know. The man who killed millions died alone, on the floor, surrounded by people too terrified to help him. Lesson number 3. Rule by fear, die in fear. The circle of tyranny. Mao Zedong, the man behind the Great Leap Forward, which was actually a great leap backward for about 45 million people who starved to death. By the 1970s, Mao was falling apart. He had Parkinson's disease, heart problems, and lung issues from smoking like a chimney. Unlike other dictators on this list, Mao actually died of old age and illness. September 9, 1976. He died of a heart attack at 82 years old. I know, where's the drama? Where's the poetic justice? Here's the twist. After he died, his wife and her allies, the Gang of Four, tried to seize power. They got arrested within a month. His wife died in prison. And Mao? They embalmed him and put him on permanent display in Tiananmen Square, where tourists can gawk at him like a morbid wax museum. The man who wanted to be immortalized in history got his wish, just not the way he imagined. He's literally a tourist attraction. Lesson number 4. You can preserve the body, but you can't preserve the legacy. Muammar Gaddafi, Libya's flamboyant dictator who ruled for 42 years with an iron fist and a truly bizarre fashion sense. Seriously, this guy wore robes that looked like he raided Liberace's closet. 2011, Arab Spring protests hit Libya. Gaddafi responds with violence. NATO gets involved. Suddenly, the brother leader is running for his life. October 20th, 2011, Gaddafi's convoy is fleeing his hometown of Sirte when NATO airstrikes hit them. And here's where it gets absolutely wild. Gaddafi, one of the most powerful men in Africa, hides in a drainage pipe. Rebel fighters find him. Videos show him being dragged out, bloody, and begging. "What did I do to you?" he asks. "Oh, I don't know, Muammar. Maybe the decades of oppression, torture, executions, and funding international terrorism?" The exact details are murky, but Gaddafi was beaten, possibly sodomized with a bayonet, and shot multiple times. He died on the hood of a truck. His body was displayed in a meat locker for days, while people lined up to take selfies with it. The man who lived in golden palaces died in a drainage ditch. Lesson 5. All the gold-plated guns in the world won't save you when the people turn against you. Saddam Hussein, Iraq's brutal dictator who gassed his own people, invaded Kuwait, and had more palaces than common sense. 2003, the US invades Iraq looking for weapons of mass destruction. They did not find them. But they did find Saddam, hiding in a literal hole in the ground near Tikrit. They called it a spider hole. This guy had dozens of palaces, and he's hiding in a dirt pit with a Snickers bar. December 2003, Saddam's captured. Cue the trial. He's defiant, shouting, arguing with judges. Classic dictator behavior. Never admit you're wrong, even when you're literally on trial for crimes against humanity. November 5th, 2006, guilty. Death by hanging. December 30th, 2006. Saddam's executed, but here's the kicker. Someone recorded it on a cell phone. The video leaked online. The execution was chaotic. Guards taunted him. He remained defiant to the end, refusing a hood. The trapdoor opened, and that was it. The man who ruled through fear for 24 years died on a gallows, executed by the very people he'd oppressed. His sons, already dead. His legacy, war and suffering. From presidential palaces to a spider hole to a noose. That's not a fall from grace. That's a fall from a skyscraper. Lesson number 6. You can run from justice, but you can't hide in a hole forever. Pol Pot, leader of the Khmer Rouge. The man who killed roughly 25% of Cambodia's population in just 4 years. We're talking about 1.5 to 2 million deaths. Intellectuals, minorities, anyone with glasses. Yes, wearing glasses could get you killed. That's how paranoid this regime was. 1979, Vietnam invades and kicks out the Khmer Rouge. Pol Pot flees to the jungle and starts a guerrilla war that lasts decades. 1997, even his own people are sick of him. The Khmer Rouge holds a show trial and sentences him to house arrest. April 15, 1998, Pol Pot dies in his sleep. Official cause? Heart failure. He was 72. That's it. No trial, no justice, no punishment. Just heart failure. The man responsible for one of the worst genocides in history died peacefully in bed, never facing an international tribunal, never being held accountable. Some say he was poisoned by his own people to avoid capture. Others think it was natural causes. Either way, he escaped justice, and that, folks, is the darkest ending of all. Lesson number 7. Sometimes karma doesn't show up, and that's the most terrifying lesson. Nicolae Ceaușescu, Romania's communist dictator who lived in palaces while his people starved. And he has the distinction of having the weirdest execution timing in history. December 1989. The Berlin Wall just fell. Communism is collapsing across Eastern Europe. Romanians have had enough. December 21st. Ceaușescu tries to give a speech from his palace balcony. The crowd starts booing on live TV. He flees by helicopter. Flees by helicopter, like a Bond villain. But the pilot has engine trouble and lands. Ceaușescu and his wife, Elena, are captured by the military. December 25th, 1989. Christmas Day. They're given a 2-hour trial by military tribunal. Let me repeat that. Christmas Day. Nothing says holiday spirit like executing a dictator. The trial was a kangaroo court. Both Nikolaya and Elena were found guilty of genocide and sentenced to death immediately. They were taken outside and executed by firing squad. Over 100 bullets fired. Both were shot so many times the soldiers had to be told to stop. And then they broadcast it on national television. Romania rang in the new year knowing their dictator was dead. The couple who lived in luxury died together in a courtyard on Christmas. That's what I call a regime change. Lesson number 8. When the people rise up, even your own military won't save you. We've got time for a few more, so let's rapid fire through some honorable mentions. Idi Amin, Uganda, died peacefully in exile in Saudi Arabia, 2003. Killed up to 500,000 people. Lived to 78. No justice. Infuriating. Francisco Franco, Spain. Died in bed of heart failure, 1975 after ruling Spain for 36 years. Got to die of natural causes. Life isn't fair. Kim Jong-il, North Korea. Died of a heart attack on a train, 2011. His son took over. Tyranny, the family business. Fidel Castro, Cuba. Died of natural causes at 90 in 2016. Survived 600 plus assassination attempts. Death finally got him the old-fashioned way. Time. Bonus ancient entry, Julius Caesar. Stabbed 23 times by his own Senate, 44 BC. Dictators getting betrayed by their inner circle, a tale as old as Rome. So what have we learned today? Well, being a dictator has a terrible retirement plan. Out of the dictators we covered, 3 were executed, Mussolini, Saddam, Ceaușescu. 2 committed suicide, Hitler. 3 died of natural causes, Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, Franco, Amin, Castro, Kim. 1 was beaten to death by rebels, Gaddafi. Some got justice, some didn't. But here's the universal truth. None of them got to enjoy their legacy. They're remembered as cautionary tales, not heroes. Power corrupted them. Paranoia consumed them. And in the end, whether by bullet, rope, or heart attack, they all ended up the same way. Dead and history's villains. If you learned something today or just enjoyed watching tyrants get their comeuppance, hit that subscribe button. We've got more dark history coming your way. This is Chirpy Crow, reminding you, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And karma has a long memory. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.